Hello guys, welcome back. So we still have a channel. I wasn't sure because, racial issues are very much a flashpoint in this country, as you all know. And you're all holding your breath and going, oh my god, what's she gonna do today? Don't worry, I'm not gonna hurt you. We had to get the messy thing of white guilt on the table because it's not useful. Only in this country can we take something that was meant for good and totally screw it up to the point where we're actually hurting everybody at the same time. Yay, America. And I talked to somebody from Europe, and I've talked to people from Europe over the years that they're like, we just don't understand you in America. We do not understand you. We're not getting this. What are you doing? Why are you doing this to yourselves? And we're like, I don't know, because we were brought up this way. So, as I was talking to Odin last night, he said, and you know how blunt and direct he is. He goes, it's actually, your damn business who I call. And if I call a person, that's between me and them. That's between the gods and that individual. It doesn't matter if they're, from the very whitest, lily white part of Europe, or they're from Zimbabwe, or they're from China, or they're from planet that we have never heard of. That is the business of the gods, to call whoever they want. And the gods are going to call whoever the hell they want. They don't seem to give two shits about the color of your skin or what your racial background is. So that's a short answer. So that means that, it's really end of story. That's not my business. I can keep going on and doing my own thing. But it also does mean that if we are here and we say form a group, and it's mainly a group of people with European background, what kind of groups do we form? Do we feel comfortable letting other people in? And it's not bad to talk about. We should talk about. We never do. Do we feel comfortable letting other people in? And are we letting them in because we feel that they are worthy to be part of our group? Are we, Huygens Heathenhoff talked about this. No, it was the Troth that talked about this, I think. No, Heathens Against Hate, I'm sorry, but all these groups do talk about this. About we don't want to resort to tokenism. That we go out and we recruit people because we feel guilty and we need you to come practice this religion because we feel bad. That doesn't serve anything either. It doesn't serve anything, to let somebody in on the basis of the color of their skin or their nationality or whatever, because that is just as racist in its own way as excluding people. It's saying you're not here because the gods called you. You are here because we feel guilty and you feel that, you feel that need to take away that guilt. So it was actually really good we had that talk, because actually it's none of our damn business who the gods call. So that's the short answer. But the longer answer is, we have to have conversations. I don't feel called to a group. I don't do well in group dynamics, as we've all noticed. And like I've said to people repeatedly, don't friend me on Facebook, because me in front of a camera is not the me you're going to get in, real life. And I had someone bitch me out that used to be, watch this channel, and they no longer do because, I have anxiety and panic attacks and dark depression. There are days I'm suicidal, and there are days I can't fucking talk to you because I am trying to stay alive at that moment in time. And the person got really pissy with me and goes, oh, you're not talking to me now or something. And I said no. I said I unfriended the person when I did because it was too much. My social anxiety was acting out my depression. But people almost act like that's something you make up as part of your YouTube persona. And it's like, no, dipstick, I have this. It's part of my life. So you don't see me do that on camera because I make sure I have it together to be on camera. But if I'm going through that in real life and I'm suddenly unfriending people, it's because it's a survival mechanism. That's what I have to do because my social anxiety is shooting through the roof and everything else. Well, we got really off topic there, but, that's the thing. We have to, if we are going to form communities, we have to form realistic communities where we don't hold each other up to these false values and we don't include people because it makes us feel less guilty or it makes us feel whatever. I think part of the reason, and I will be totally honest, that we have the inclusive heathenry we have now and the inclusive paganism that we have now is because the extremists on the other side who want want this brand of paganism to only be for this brand of people, throw us all together. You know, the alt-right is like they don't like women, they don't like gays, they don't like blacks, they don't like fill in the blank. So what do we have over here in inclusive history? All the people they hate. It's not so much, and it's okay to admit this, that we automatically think everybody else they're including in our group is awesome. It's that they're not letting us into their group anyway, so we might as well make the best of a bad situation. Not that we want to hang out with racists, but you know what I mean. Um, and get along. And that's okay to admit. It's okay to admit that maybe we don't know how we feel about things and we don't examine them, and we should. You should examine how you feel about things. Would racism, for example, and let's be honest, be that bad if, you know, they let women in and treated women with respect? If racist people treated women with respect and, you know, oh, they're so beautiful, if they were gay inclusive because they were only racist, then, you know, it would be a little bit harder for some people to turn down that advantage and go, um, everything's in my favor. Why shouldn't I take it? It would be a lot harder if they're denying you access anyways, if they're saying, well, because you're a woman, you're less than, you're going to have to come in as a servant and pop out babies, or because you're gay, you can't be here because we need you to be a breeder. That is not, you're not being a good person because you're staying out of that group because they won't have you anyhow. You're just staying out of that group because they don't want you. And you have to then make your own moral choices of, okay, well, that group doesn't want me anyhow, but that doesn't therefore mean I'm right because I'm standing out here and they don't want me. It just means I'm standing out here because they don't want me. And what do I feel about, you know, other people of other races? And what do I feel about other people of other religions, and what do I feel about all this stuff? And we have to have that honest conversation, and I think that's what Odin was pushing me for, of um just because you've all been grouped into the same group together doesn't mean you're all gonna like each other and all get along. Look at the gay community. If you're from it, you know how fragmented it is, and a lot of gay people end up leaving it because, one, you kind of get automatically put in the gay community whether you want to be there or not because you're gay. And two, people get tired of the infighting. They get tired of it being this, they get tired of it being that, and they're like, you know what, I'm leaving. You can't make anybody happy in this community. I'm gone. I'm really not associated with the gay community, as you kind of guessed. Because you just get frustrated because nobody's ever happy and everybody's special needs are more special than everybody else's, and you were trying to be inclusive and you're just too damn tired and pissed off at this point and you leave. So, you know, that's not what we want heathenry or paganism or witchcraft to become either. We don't want it to become a point where you get a bunch of people that maybe they don't feel everybody should be included, that are forced to be together, and end up getting tired and disgusted and walk away. We have to look at, do we feel comfortable? Is it any better to include people because of tokenism than it is because to exclude them? And of course it's not. You wouldn't want to be included in something just because you're fill in the blank. You wouldn't. Some people wouldn't mind. A few rare individuals would say, well, if you're going to let me in because I'm female or I'm white or I'm, you know, heathen or I'm whatever, then I'll take it. But a lot of people would be kind of hurt because we'd be like, you don't actually have me here because you think I'm part of the group. I'm actually here as a token part of the group. Meaning, you know, a token, by the way, if you don't know what that term is, it's not a real part of the group. It's like the token black friend. I'm sorry, but we have that phrase for a reason. Or people have gays now. They're gay? Yeah, they're gay that they have. They're not really accepting of gay people, but they have their gay. I have no idea what the hell is wrong with straight women, but they have their gay now. And it's like, it's the same thing. You're not actually including these people. You can feel you're including them and you can feel you're doing a wonderful thing, but they're there for tokenism. They're there so you don't feel bad because you're not them. And it's like, it's silly. Of course you're not them. You know, straight women don't have to go around collecting gay friends because you feel sorry for us. We're already, you know, a million times more fabulous than you'll ever be. I'm sorry, but we are. And see, you know, that's okay for me to say. And you're all laughing because it's this stereotype we have in this country of gay people are fabulous. When they wanted to make the straight pride parade, everybody was laughing and saying how ugly that the floats would look because you should at least, farm that part out to the gay people so the floats look like something. And the parade looked like shit because only straight people designed it, and it looks sad. And they used the transgender flag. I don't know if they were trying to be ironic or they're just stupid. I don't really know. So, it's something we should be able to have an open discussion about. It doesn't make you bad because you want to discuss it. It's like, no, if we're going to move forward and we're going to have heathenry or paganism or witchcraft that includes, people of all colors and genders and sexualities and abilities and disabilities and everything else, then we have to do it because that's what we feel is best. And if we don't feel it's best, leave it alone. But we have to do it for the right reason. Don't just do it for guilt. Don't just do it because, you feel you have to because you feel guilty. Guilt doesn't actually solve anything in the long run because guilt kind of says, well, I really don't think they belong here, but I feel guilty, so I'm going to let them in. That's not good either. It's actually, like I said, none of our business who the gods call. But it is our business that if we are going to be in a group and we are going to be in a community to be, civil about it and to be like, okay, maybe I don't understand why the gods called this person. That's okay to feel that way. It's very okay to look at people and go, why the hell did the gods call you? And it isn't always about race. It's about, this is the dumbest person I ever met. Are you sure the gods called you? It's okay to feel that way. We've all been there where people are like, why are you here? So, it's okay to feel that way. It's okay to be curious. It's perfectly okay, to be curious and say, why are there, people that are not traditionally European that are being called by the gods? Well, because the gods are calling them, and short answer is it's none of our damn business. But it's also okay to be curious and say, well, how is that experience for you? What is it like being black and working with Norse gods? What is it like being Latino or Chinese or from the planet Jupiter? What is this experience like coming from your culture? Are you getting blowback from, the people around you? Are you being welcomed? Is it great for you? Does it really suck ass? Are people telling you, why aren't you with the gods of your own people? Because this is something we should have a conversation about and be open about. It's fine to be curious. Usually if you go to places where you are different looking and it's a culture that's, not quite assimilated into modern culture, so they don't have all the PC rules and everything. People will come over and touch your skin and like pull at your skin and poke you and what are you? They're just curious. They're not trying to be racist. They're not trying to be mean. They want to see, does it come off? Does this color come off you? What are you made of? Are you human? How are your eyes that color? How is your hair that color? They're curious. You're curious. You look different. And a lot of anthropologists got scolded for coming back and saying that. And they were like, no, they petted me for 2 weeks straight. People would come over and pet my hair. People would come over and like go boink and take a piece of hair and run away like it was this great treasure because they never saw people before and they were curious. And it wasn't, that was bad. It was actually, they said it was kind of actually sweetly endearing. They didn't know what to make of me. I was human shaped, but I looked so different. They didn't know what to make of me. And that's actually a good thing. That's how we are as humans. If a race of people came from under the ground tomorrow that looked totally different than everybody else on the planet, say they were blue and they sparkle, we would all be rightly like, oh, where do they come from? Who are they? We would have that gut instinct of they're different. No, they're blue and they come from underground, but where they really come from, right? Were their ancestors European, whatever? We would just default back to that because that's how we make sense of the world, and that doesn't mean we're bad people. Seeing that people are different is not the problem. Treating them differently is the problem. So there you go. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. But that was something Odin wanted me to work through because as a European deity, he's like, I really don't understand you Americans. What's wrong with you? I'm like, well, it's America. Only in America could we take something that was meant to fix everything and make things 1,000 times work. Observe American road crews, and you will know exactly what I mean. No insult to people that are on road crews, but you know what I mean. All too often, it's, the township was cheap and they pay for the worst patch possible, and it made the road 10,000 times worse than if they had just left well enough alone. So that's kind of, Americans with pretty much anything. So if you guys like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you later. Bye bye.